Hello and welcome to Earth Trifle, and today we want to talk about, yes, those things. And why is that? Well, it's been found that human penises are shrinking because of pollution, warns scientists. Dr Shanna Swan has found that chemicals called phthalates are causing human babies to be born with malformed genitals. We can all joke about this, but it's actually very, very serious. Oh dear me. Anyway, penises are shrinking and genitals becoming malformed because of pollution. An environmental scientist has warned in a new book detailing the challenges facing human reproduction. Dr Shanna Swan writes that humanity is facing an existential crisis in fertility rates as a result of phthalates, a chemical used when manufacturing plastics. Remember, plastics are everywhere. Now, the problem is we're digesting plastics. Yes. Can't get away from it. Even in bottles of water, they have found microplastics actually in the water that you're drinking. There's equivalent of about 14 garbage truck loads of plastic entering the sea every single day. By 2050, there'll be as much plastic in the sea as fish. Now, you might think, they're only plastic bottles. You're not going to digest a whole plastic bottle, are you? No, but what happens is plastic bottles, they break down into smaller particles of themselves. They don't biodegrade. They don't end up into something else or back into nothing, effectively. No. So they don't go back to Earth. All you end up with is tiny little bits of plastic all over the place, and especially in the sea, on the land, and even the water and air. I meant to say air there, but I meant, yeah. So we're finding it in our soil, we're finding it in our water, as in the sea and what have you as well, and also our bottled water, we're finding it in the air. It's everywhere. This is a really serious issue. We really need to look into this and do your own research because it's quite intense. And I can't cover it all here, obviously. Anyway, Dr. Shanna writes that the humanity is facing an existential threat. Yeah? That's fact. Right. Also, it's not just this particular problem regarding plastics. We are seeing over a period of time the fertility rates since the late 20th century to 2017. On the figures that they've got, epidemiologists are saying by the year 2045 the world will be infertile. Well, not funny, that ain't very far. Very long way, is it, really? No. I'm glad I've made my contribution already. So, as a result, this pollution, a growing number of babies are being born with small penises. How many times have they got to say this in this article? And this article's in, let's say, it's in the Sky News. Dr. Swan writes. Now, pollution is a huge problem, as we know. Her book, titled Countdown, examines how our modern world is threatening sperm counts, altering male and female reproductive development, and imperiling the future of the human race. Dr. Swan's research began by examining phthalates syndrome, something observed in rats, which found that when fetuses were exposed to the chemical, they were likely to be born with shrunken genitals. It's happening already! Yeah. Don't blame the cold. No. It's phthalates. She discovered that male human babies who had been exposed to the phthalates in the womb had shorter anagenetical distance. Length. Something that correlated with penile volume. Sorry. I shouldn't laugh. This is really serious, really, because obviously this is about the human race surviving. But I suppose if we get wiped out, the planet will survive. The chemical has an industrial use in making plastics more flexible. But Dr. Swan says it is being transmitted into toys and foods and subsequently harms human development. Yeah. I don't know if you remember the formaldehydes. Well, this is like penile formaldehyde. I didn't even pronounce that right. Anyway, thank you for listening. Oh, there's more to it. Sorry about that. Okay, phthalates mimic the hormone estrogen and estrogen. Sorry, the hormone estrogen, and thus disrupt the natural production of hormones in the human body, which researchers have linked to interference in sexual development in infants and behaviours in adults. Anyway, don't forget to click like and subscribe. So, men may be mostly infertile by 2045, Dr Swan says. Dr Swan, who is a professional in environmental medicine, so she's backing up what the epidemiologist was saying. And public health at the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City based her work on a series of peer-reviewed research studies, probably the other study that I was talking about. One study published in 2017, that is that one, found that sperm levels among men in Western countries had dropped by more than 50%. You're firing blanks. Every other one. That's like a, one-legged horse race. Over the past 4 decades, after examining 185 studies involving close to 45,000 healthy men, Dr Swan believes that the rapidly decreasing fertile rate means that most men will be unable to produce viable sperm by 2045. Obviously, there'll be a few, but how are you going to actually, allow the human race to survive with a very small amount of people? It doesn't work that way, does it? No. So this isn't great news, is it? All it does mean is that it gets more. We'll have to obviously work twice as hard, so there'll be more time to practice. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little video, and this is like I said, Sky News article, and it's human penises are shrinking because of pollution, warn scientists. Anyway, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and maybe that little bell icon, because then you get a warm, fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. I know you'll be excited about that. And if you want to buy us a coffee, I'll leave a link below, but also, you can also support us via Patreon. Ta-ta. I'll leave you a bit of music. Let's have a bit of music, shall we? Yeah. At least we haven't got that renowned environmentalist taught us all we have to know.
Like you'll go person, yes, woman, man, camera, TV.
That'll do. Yeah, but we're talking about water, water's obviously,
And tremendously wet.
Yeah, that it is, Donny. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.